Hey guys, Liz here. Today I'm going to walk you through the basics of fading out an image in a background with Photoshop. We are going to be working on two examples today. One, being a simple image with a fading background in the sky and maybe some text on the side. The second example would be something that I've used in the real world. This is now a banner on a real website. I have purposely left space on the side of this banner to add text on this rotating banner. Before we get started, I do want to point out that I am currently using Photoshop CC. For the purpose of this tutorial, I am going to be using the main menu up top. But I do highly recommend you do learn hotkeys. If you are not familiar with hotkeys, I will leave a link below. Let's get started. First, you want to go to File, Open, choose your background image. At this point, we want to bring in our next image, but we don't want to bring it in the same way we brought in the first one. I'll show you why. If you go to File, Open, and select our next image, it opens up a new document, and that is not what we want to do. We want to import this image, the same document we're working on. So let's try again. Let's go to File, look for Place Embedded, and notice you have two options here. You have Place Embedded and you have Place Linked. We're not going to get in the subject of which one to choose and why. For the purpose of this tutorial, let's just focus on which one we need. So let's choose Place Embedded. Choose your image and hit Place. Notice the guides around the image. This indicates that your Free Transform tool is active. But what is Free Transform? Free Transform tool will allow you to do various things with your image. One of them being scaling your image up or down. Suppose we want to make our image smaller, but we want to do it proportionally. You want to hold Shift on your keyboard and drag the corner to make our image smaller. If you're happy with that size, just hit Enter or Return on your keyboard. To activate the Free Transform tool again, you go to Edit, Free Transform, or alternatively, you could also do Command T on a Mac. Just drag it to this side. Next, we only want to use maybe just the face for this example. But we need to get rid of everything around it. For this, I don't recommend using the eraser tool. It is always better to add a layer mask to your image. So going back to your layers panel, you're going to want to go down and look for this rectangular icon with a circle inside. Now, you want to make sure that your image layer is selected first. Then add your layer mask. We want to use the brush tool to remove the areas of the image we don't want. I'll show you how this works. Currently, we have black activated. That tells us that we can go ahead and remove sections of the image we don't want. But let's say we have an accident. Oops. To fix that, click on this icon to switch them. And there it goes. We saved our image. This is why this tool is so awesome and so important at the same time. Let's finish removing the areas we don't need. Okay, that's good enough. Let's move this a little more. You can do many things at this point with this. You can turn down the opacity up here on your layers panel. If you're happy with that, that's fine. There's so many other things you can do with this. I would probably go with changing the hue of this, maybe, and then changing the opacity to this to make it look, I don't know, in my eyes a little better. To do this, we would need to add an adjustment layer to this image only. Choose hue and saturation. Notice you get a new layer in your layers panel. You want to make sure that you're only adjusting this one particular image up here. To do that, click Option, and you notice that little icon you get when you hover over the in between these two layers. You want to make sure you see that icon. That's telling you that it's only going to make adjustments to that image. Once you've done that, click on the circle again. Now you can go ahead and change the hue to this, but it'll look kind of funny. So what I like to do is check this colorize box down here, and then I can adjust it any way I want. Kind of going for that bluish, maybe go down on the saturation. Notice how it's looking a little better. Alright, I'm happy with that. But maybe it's still a little dark. This is where we change the opacity. You want to make sure that you've selected your image. Now let's turn down the opacity. I think I'll be happy right around right around 65 maybe. But you can go as low or as high as you want. It's up to you. Suppose we want to add text to the side of this. Because I can't really think of anything at the moment, I'm just going to go with, a simple R.I.P. John Doe. Nobody died, don't worry. And there you go. Now, many of you may have encountered an issue right here. If you can't see your text, it's probably because it's hitting in that layer mask. Notice how I just dragged it up here, now you can't see it? Well, make sure that it's not placed in between this area here. Just drag it outside of that, maybe below your image, and you'll be able to see your text. Alright, so we've completed our first example. Let's try our next one. The next one will be a lot quicker, I promise. For the next one, we want to start on a clean canvas. And I already have dimensions for this, so just follow through. You want to go to File, New. The dimensions I'm going to be using for this will be 2560 pixels width, and for the height I will be using 1440. I'm going to choose my resolution to be 72. Okay. For this I want to change my background to black. So let's look for our paint bucket tool. I want to change maybe the color swatch to black down here, and then just click anywhere on your page, and there you go. Go to File, place embedded, choose your image, and it'll be the same image, but you want to make this a little bigger. Right around there, I guess. Add a mask layer to this. Click on your brush tool. Again, it's not going to be perfect, but you get my point. Now I want this image to be black and white, just like this one. Now let's add an adjustment layer to this, and we'll choose black and white. So I am going to play around with this a little bit, maybe change the reds here. Until I'm happy with my image, I'm going to go with something like that because I'm going to fade it out anyway. Maybe some of the yellow. Okay, let's just go with that. So make sure you select your image before you reduce the opacity. Now I'm going to go as slow as maybe 60%. And I'm going to leave this area blank. Alright guys, so we finished 2 examples that you can use however you like. I hope this tutorial helps. If you have any questions, go ahead and message me. I would be happy to hear from you guys. If you have ideas on other tutorials you'd like me to do, I would love to hear about those too. Till next time, don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials like this.